All right, the resolution is that the USFG should cease seizures on medicinal marijuana. Observation 1, definitions.
So parliamentary debate involves two teams of two people arguing a resolution, and they have 15 to 20 minutes to prepare, meaning that they come in with basically no pre-existing knowledge of the topic. Ideally, they've done research on a plethora of topics: foreign relations, domestic politics, the economy, anything that's current in the news. So they may have files that they bring in hard copy, or they have things on their laptops. They get a resolution. The resolution can either be a fact, in which they're arguing like, yes, this is true, or no, this is not true. A value, where they're arguing things like democracy is better than security for whatever reason, or they're arguing a policy, where they're asking us to do something, and then the other team is saying, no, we should not, and they offer arguments for and against. The two teams that are involved, one of them is the government team, and they're for a resolution, and the other team, the opposition, is against the resolution. So in our circuit, parliamentary debate is kind of known as debate for the common person. What we're arguing should be things that the average American could come in, they could listen to, and they would understand more or less what's being said.
We're trying to tell the federal government to, stay out of states' business. The people want this. The states are allowed, or the people are voting for it in their states, and the federal.
Flowing is writing down in structured format the arguments being made. So you start at the top of case, which is the prima facie. Once they have laid out the prima facie, the top of case, then you flow their arguments, their advantages or disadvantages, and you write down the points they made, how they feel this helps their case, what evidence they have to back up that point, and we write all this, we flow down all this information so that when we go up next to talk about it, we can refute their points that they've made, whether it's taking out a link that they have, whether proving that statistically they're inaccurate with their statement, or just kind of refuting what they had to say in general.
First voter is that there is a patchwork of state laws, and it has been proven through other substances linked to illicit drug activity that if you have laxer laws regarding this substance.
So we call the members of the audience the peanut gallery. What do they do in debate is they provide some type of feedback.
First off, you got to get your legal pads ready, and you got to get your pen and pencil ready to flow what the people are about to talk about, which is the opposition and the gov. And then you get your knuckles ready to knock, 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 and you just got to get your two fingers like this ready, and you go shame, shame, shame if you don't like what they're saying. Okay, so the most appropriate thing that's etiquetted is shaming, because that tells them that's not good what you said, no, no, no.
It's definitely a good feeling to hear those knocks on the doors or on the tables or whatever wooden object or whatever solid piece of object, whether it's your head. Actually, it doesn't make enough noise for that, but we really like hearing the knocks regardless of what you're knocking on.
How do I judge a winner? For me personally, in a round, I'm looking for organization and structure, number one, and my team will tell you that I harp on structure. I want to know that you know how to make a case for something and that you kept that throughout the entire round. I'm also looking to make sure that you make true statements. Sometimes judges will say, well, if the other team didn't point out the fact that you made an argument that was based off of a fallacy, I'm going to let that slide. I unfortunately won't let that slide. I don't want you to be lying to me as a judge, because if a common person walked into the room, I want to make sure that they're getting the best quality evidence and the best arguments that they can to make an informed decision. If it comes down to it and both teams are fantastic in terms of their argument, I'm going to look for the team that was the most put together in terms of how their partnership worked and whether or not, right, they just kind of looked polished, because that's one of the things when we're teaching students who want to be lawyers was, did you look polished? Did you look like you were a credible source?
Good round. Educational.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
phenomenal for me because of structure. I swear, I beat that horse dead, but you have to like all understand when I'm telling you structure is so important, and that's why this round was awesome. Maybe like idea-wise, you didn't feel like you were your best round in terms of like aggression and things like that and assertiveness, but structurally it was clean. And when your rounds are structurally clean, that gives you the advantage, right? All of our ballots, that's what it says. Structure, structure, structure. This round was structurally clean. And that goes back to like what I'm saying about like practicing with the activity, right? Raw talent is awesome. And raw talent can win you things, just like as a kid, this kid who's like 5 inches taller than everybody else, right, could have like that raw talent, they're dunking in their games. But it's that kid who's like a little bit shorter in the first part of the season that isn't as good, but they go home and they drill, right? They drill and they practice and they practice. And then in the end, that practice and that repetition is always going to outweigh raw talent. And that's what you have to think about with debate. The more practice, the more time you put into it, you have to find the time. Right? You're going to get out of it what you put into it. Raw talent is good, and we need raw talent, which you guys have, but now we have to go, we have to be the kid that practices. Right? You're doing the drills all the time, and that's how we're going to win. Ready? Great.